We live on YouTube.
You like on Facebook?
Yeah, come.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, select from me, sir.
All phones on mute, so like.
Come on, sir.
All phones on mute, bro.
Come. We live on Facebook.
All right, all live.
Yep, come, sir.
Start it up. Shalom, how about you? This is I.S.U.P.K DC. Greece and also the Kamael, the Teacher Wednesday class. Today we'll go into how, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, how do you say her name? Kamala.
Yeah, come.
People say her name different ways. Kamala Harris. They are not going to save the black community. Everybody feels better that Trump is out of office, but we got to know that no matter if it's a blue man, green man, Democrat, Republican, that black people, we are being murdered, and nobody's being locked up for it. We have been mistreated, most definitely not treated equally. And it's funny that Biden wrote out an order for equality and equity for black people, but it seems when I read this order, it sounds, it's like, is this what he has to roll out? Is this the executive order that he has to roll out in 2021?
Right.
Like the order is like the thing that he's trying to permit. It seems like something we've been asking for since before Martin Luther King.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like we're still in the same predicament. And the reason that is because we're looking for answers from the White House or from the president, but they are not going to help us, man. We got to know that we got to trust in the Most High, and that has always been our downfall with entrusting Pharaoh or trusting the king or something like that, and we always end up on the short end of the stick, even into death. So this is the executive order on advancing racial equity and support for underserved communities through the federal government. So this is one of the executive orders that Biden is rolling out. Section 1 policy is saying he wants equal opportunity. He says equal opportunity is the bedrock of American democracy, and our diversity is one of our country's greatest strengths. But for too many, the American dream remains out of reach. So, it's 2021, but we still talking about how people don't have, America's supposed to be the place you come to live your American dream, but he's clearly stating that, that's not true.
Right.
But it's 2021. Like this thing, it's so old. It's tiring now.
Right.
Like, 1950s, black people, we marched and, got hoes sprayed on us, dogs attacked us. And you have to see that there has not been any change.
Right.
Like, and we got to understand that that both of them are evil and the devil. Republicans and Democrats. The reason we love Democrats is because Democrats, I'm gonna pull up a president who said who figured out a tactic to always get black people to choose Democrat. I'm gonna quote his words, but basically, I'm paraphrasing right now. That president basically said to get black people to always vote Democrat or become Democrats is just to give them a crumb. And that crumb, I believe what he was talking about was like food stamps and things like that. But Democrats always use us as a token, and then so us as lost sheep, we'll see like a colored man like Barack Obama, who we thought was an Israelite, was a Negro, but he's not. He's the son of Ham. He's an African, We thought that he was a black man, and we happy, we celebrated. But after black people were heartbroken. After he got in office, a lot of black people. What did a lot of black people? The same black people that told the I.S.U.P.K. in 2008 or 2009 that he got in. He got in 2008. At that time, they were fighting Commander YAHANNA, and they were angry with the UPK in 2008. So speaking against Barack Obama and saying that he ain't going to help black people and we should not permit that black people should not vote.
Right.
After 8 years, the same black people that were mad at us were mad at Obama and said that Obama didn't do anything for them. Democrats love to use this as a token. And on a bigger scale, America just uses this as a token too.
Right.
Now you gotta understand, business also, Nike and Adidas and all these clothing brands, they are racist, but they know the business.
Right.
Like you're the greatest man and greatest woman that walked the earth, so of course you have to be the face of that company. Even though if you're not getting paid that bill, like Nike's gonna make that $1 billion. They're gonna hit that market.
Right.
It's $1 billion company. But is LeBron or Michael Jordan or them people gonna get $1 billion? No. Michael Jordan made his $1 billion after how many years? But he should have been had that because he's a man. Especially off his own shoe.
Right.
So it just shows you how they on another scale on the side note, what I was bringing up is business wise is how they use us. And like we still slaves in America.
Right.
Whereas though you still gonna get shot dead on the streets, you still gonna be mistreated. But the confusion is when you telling black people about it, some black people will admit and say that you're say that it's true. Other people who fear our oppressor or who are confused because they see LeBron James and Michael Jordan and Oprah and Cardi B and celebrities, they confused. They feel as though they can make it in America. They just if they just work or get a record deal or get their own business or something like that.
Right.
They don't understand. Okay, one black person making it. That's what America does. They let one black person make it. That all of us happy. We feel like we made it, but us as a whole, we're still poor.
Right.
Us as a whole, we're still being locked up. 2 million black and Latinos in jail.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? We still, we are not even a nation, man. Right. So that's the confusion. So let me get back to it. Let me not get off too much off topic. So go ahead.
So like I said, to prove that Joe Biden he can't stand Israelites, they say Biden signs memorandum to combat bias incidents towards Asian Americans.
Right.
So he just signed it.
Right. He signed a lot of executive orders. And read that. Say that one again. Read it again.
Biden signs memorandum to combat bias incident toward Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders.
Right. So this is also in this order that I'm reading also. So the first part of Section 1 of the policy was talking about having equal opportunities for blacks and Latinos who have not been able to live the American dream. And then it also goes down to Biden wanting to give everybody equal opportunity. Give black and Latinos equal opportunity who have not received it by, I guess when we go fill out, try to get a bank loan, and how you might have the credit score for the bank loan,
right?
But because you're a black man, they're not gonna give it to you,
right?
So the policy is basically just trying to give once again equal rights, but it feels old. Like, why are we talking about? Why does he have to do an executive order on having the road to treat black and Latinos correctly? Because in his policy it says black, Latinos, Asians, and Pacific Islanders,
right,
and people of color. That's what it says in this policy. But we still fight. America. It should show you that we're not going to get it. It should show we still fight the same thing from 60 years ago. Dude,
Right.
you gotta let that set in.
Right.
It's ridiculous. Like we have to come up with a new plan, another plan.
Right.
Like, you know, that's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
What scripture I want to pick? And once again, like I brought out last class, the trouble is the confusion is black leaders. Like if I.S.U.P.K and Jesse Jackson or all the black leaders now, if they weren't sellouts, if they weren't selling it behind, if they weren't prostitutes, then we would not be confused.
Right.
But because they sell out and when we're angry about our people that got shot in the streets, and they come and tell us to calm down and we're gonna deal with another way, you know, it confuses us. You know, we become, you know, though when instead they should let us be angry, because the Bible says an oppressed man, oppression maketh a wise man angry.
Right.
If you oppress, you're gonna be angry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They sell outs and they know that we're oppressed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Those same black leaders come from our neighborhood, the same neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? They had rats and roaches before. They've been, you know, had food stamps before, or, you know, all that stuff. They've been poor, basically.
Right.
They've been poor. But because now they get into politics and become liberals or lobbyists or whatever they are, they you know, they get paid from America just to calm us down. And they, you know, now they become greedy, money grubbing sellouts, man.
Right.
And they don't care now they don't care about black people.
Right.
But those are our leaders, and a lot of us are confused and we follow those leaders. You know what I'm saying? So they make us not they extinguish our anger. And now we become slaves. Now when we hear another person speak out about how America is mistreating us, we'll tell that person that, you know, don't worry about it. God loves everybody. You know, just stay peaceful and love everyone.
Right.
When everybody else don't have to do that. If the Arabs get attacked, the Arabs are going to attack back. You know what I'm saying? If the white man get attacked, you for sure, you see he attacks back.
Right.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So we're the only people who are told, and even the fact that even if we just speak about it, just speaking about us being attacked, you know, it's like America doesn't want to hear it.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? It's ridiculous, man.
Okay.
But because of our black leaders, they are our reason. Our black leaders are. The Bible says the black leaders are our gates, and it says our gates have languished,
Right.
meaning our gates are destroyed. Our gates have fallen down. We have no protection at all.
Right.
We have no protection at all. So that's what we got to start at. We got to start at our leaders,
Right.
because we are the lost sheep. They're supposed to be leading us. It shows you that they are not fit. I.S.U.P.K is not fit. No black pastor
Right.
is fit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The black pastors back in the day, they used to be against homosexuality. They used to be against a lot of things. But as you see, as the days go by, as the years went by, the decades went by, they've been paid off too.
Right.
They for sure been paid off too. I personally know, like I said, I personally know Pastor Willie Wilson, who got a church right there by the Big Chair in Southeast in Acacia. He for sure was different when he was younger. Like when he was, I believe in his 20s or 30s, he for sure had black people protesting against a carryout that mistreated one of our brothers. But now, you know, he has for sure now he has joined hands with Jesse Jackson, and it is crazy where Pastor Willie Wilson in Southeast, he was against black people voting for Barack Obama. He called Obama wicked. But Obama's second term, he had voting booths in his basement. That's the crazy thing. And it's crazy because I grew up in that, like I grew up as a child because my father worked in the church. So I would be in that church as a child, and my father made me listen to his DVDs. And like I said, he called Obama wicked. And you can see the change in him. He got paid off. Right. So Obama's second term, he had voting booths. He had voting booths in the school. I mean, in his basement. So I went. So one time, so he does this thing that's called men's rap. with like all the men coming, they just sit in a circle and talk. And he said he was telling us to vote. But I asked him, he said, y'all gotta vote. Y'all gotta vote. If y'all don't vote, man, that Trump will get in office. And I was like, so if Trump get in office, what's gonna happen? And he shut up. He couldn't answer. I said, he said, y'all gotta vote. If y'all don't vote, man. And I was like, what's gonna happen? And he didn't have an answer because he has been paid he's been paid for us to, he's been paid to tell us to vote.
Right.
But he doesn't really have an answer for why you should vote.
Right.
He's just telling people to vote because that's what he was paid off to do. It's ridiculous, man. And that's so it's crazy because I personally get to see a sellout, and I personally got to see a pastor change.
Right.
He would never hold 15 years ago. He would never hold hands with Jesse Jackson.
Right.
15 years later, you'll see pictures of him and Jesse Jackson in his church. So it's crazy. Just like Jesse Jackson, before he ran for president, what happened? He was against abortion.
Yep.
When he tried to run for president, he was with abortion.
Right.
The things you would do. Give me Jeremiah 2:32, man. I mean 2:33. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 33. So black people we cannot be blinded by this, man. Trump, I'm here listening to the Steve Harvey show on the radio and all types of radio. People just happy that Trump is out of office. They don't get to see Trump's tweets. You know what I'm saying? I have a sense of humor. I think his tweets are funny.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I'm saying? I know he is a devil. He's not my man.
Right.
But Trump was funny as hell.
Right.
And the reason you can have that, the reason we can laugh in UPK because we know that anybody that sits in that seat in the White House, we know that they are not in the benefit. They're not there to benefit black people.
Right.
So that's why to us, Republican or Democrat or liberal, whoever, an alien, we don't matter. It doesn't matter to us who sits in that seat.
That's right.
So I don't care if Trump was in office for the next 15 years. It's not it's not gonna matter to us.
Right.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? The Christ is our king. You know what I'm saying? The Most High is our God. So
That's right.
we're not worried about who's in office. That's why I was just laughing the whole time. Like Trump was hilarious to me. Go ahead and read it, bro.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 33. Why trimmest thou way to seek love?
Like that's what we did. That's what our black leaders done. Our black leaders have trimmed their ways to seek love. Our black leaders know the truth, but they know that we're being oppressed.
Right.
They know that we don't have equal rights. They know that cops are killing us and not being arrested and not being sentenced. It's not they're not giving a sentence, man, to go to jail. And they should be put in jail for committing crime. They're criminals. They're racist criminals, man.
Right.
But our black leaders trim their ways to seek love, so they don't stand on what's right. They stand on if the money is right.
Right.
It's a shame, man.
Yeah.
But another thing that's shameful is how they have the majority of our people's hearts.
Yeah.
Like I.S.U.P.K could walk through the streets and so many black people will dance with him and hold hands with him and respect him. He'll be, they respect him. But he has done nothing for us.
Right.
Done nothing at all. But all he did was lose weight.
Right.
Just look more sick. That's it. But it don't, it's a sad case.
Yeah.
But as long as y'all brothers in UPK, as long as we stand up and do our job and be righteous and fight ourselves, man, and teach and tell brothers the truth, then brothers gonna know. They know that we've been doing a 2-hour job and we're just gonna continue to go on.
Right.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? We the real leaders, man.
That's right.
That's why we get out there on the streets. Our shopping and Jesse Jackson, they don't have the, they don't have they can't do what we do, man.
That's
Right.
right.
They're too soft.
That's right.
Right.
They're too afraid. And like the scripture we brought out last class, you can bring that up again, because when the Pharisees wanted to seek to kill Christ, they wanted to kill Christ because Christ was going to have the Romans I mean, Christ, because everybody's going to believe on Christ, and then the Romans, the Pharisees and scribes will become useless.
Right.
Just like now, if all the brothers listen to UPK and sisters listen to UPK, Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and the new leaders are coming because Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson are old as hell now. So there's going to be new Uncle Toms that they're going to be raising up. If nobody listens to them, they listen to us. Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson becomes useless.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? T.D. Jakes and Al Sharpton, T.D. Jakes and Jamal Bryant and all other coons become useless.
Right.
They will not get paid anymore.
Right.
In America, and the presidents will be mad at them because they are supposed to be keeping the Negroes calm, keeping the lamb sleep. But they have failed at their job, man. I mean, but our goal is getting them to fail at their job. Yeah, you got it. Yeah. Give me Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1.
Come.
This is our downfall. We're about to go through the same thing again. We should know that this is nothing but Obama too. Like Biden, is continuing Obama's plan. He's going to liberate the homosexuals,
Right.
the LGBT community, ABC community. You know what I'm saying? Those are the people who are going to get rights, man. And we got to not fall for it because Biden, he got a lot of people, gave a lot of blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians positions in his office also. He gave the first Native American Indian woman a position in his campaign or in his office. And all the Native American Indians are happy about that. I seen them celebrating on Facebook. It's the same old trick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They are happy now. So we gotta see how we're used as tokens, man. Go ahead.
Salaam, sir, if I may. By Joe Biden electing more of our people, it takes the blame off of him. So because they're gonna oppress us more. When you give us high position jobs like that, they start to not care even more for their own people.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, anything. And this is the thing. Like when Obama was in office, I forgot what talk show I was watching. I was watching a talk show and a black person was telling this white woman on TV about racism. And she said, how can America be racist? The president is black. That's their go-to. Like when Obama was in office, that was their go-to. Like anytime during those 8 years, from 2008 to 2016,
right.
White people's excuse or their little ace was, we got a black president. What are you talking about? Like that doesn't mean nothing, man.
Right.
At all. Like they use tokens. Black people as tokens, man. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children.
Woe means destruction, man. We are being destroyed because we are being rebellious to the Most High God. The Most High God is the only one that's going to save us out of this hellhole called America.
Right.
He is the only one. No man shall buy you or save you, like Deuteronomy 28:68 says.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We was taken in slavery by our enemies, and we are still enslaved by our enemies. The thing is, the Republicans are more more outspoken. Right. You can see that hatred on their face.
Right.
The Democrats are the same beast, but more subtle.
Right.
The Democrats, like, you gotta understand, Bill Clinton was a Democrat, but he had prison reform. He had a record of the most black people getting locked up during his term. But everybody would call Bill Clinton a black. Oh, he black. He played the sax or the trump. He played the saxophone.
Yeah, he smoked weed.
He smoked weed.
Yeah.
He got head from that girl in the office. Bill Clinton black.
Right.
But Bill Clinton also got our black behinds, had a record of our black behinds being locked up during his term.
Yeah. Right.
His wife did call us super predators.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, they are racist also. but they know how to use us as a token. So when we look in the White House or look in the Capitol or look, in their offices, we see our people in there, we feel like we made it.
Right.
And for sure, he's gonna win the majority of our hearts with this equal racial equity executive order.
Concert.
But it's so old and it's the same thing over again.
Right.
It's my executive order to make it sound like it's really a slap in the face. It's like haven't we always been doing this?
Right.
Like what's different? To make sure every Black and Latino get equal opportunity to work,
right,
and equal opportunity to get a chance to enjoy the American dream.
Right.
Like, it's ridiculous. Go ahead.
So like I said, if I may, what you're saying is so heavy, like how they use us as a token. And if you look at the inauguration of Joe Biden, you'll see that they've had J-Lo, a Hispanic sister.
Mm-hmm.
She, I think she sung a song or whatever. I didn't watch it, so I only off the highlights.
Right.
Then they had another sister who did spoken word. It's like they try to give us what we think would make us feel like they're including us in their decisions when it's just setting us up for the trick.
And and it's crazy because the majority of us fall for that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Got a Black woman, got J-Lo singing the song.
Right.
Everybody loves J-Lo.
Right.
Then you got somebody doing spoken word. It's ridiculous, man.
God.
America will be united again.
Right. Right.
Like, but we gotta stop falling for that same old. Right. We fall for that every time. The majority of us fall for that every time. But it will not free us economically. Right. It will not make us stronger economically.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? We're still gonna be poor. But moreover, America just in general is not gonna free us. That day is a nightmare. Like the true freedom is when no Black person, Latino person will work in that White House or the Capitol or the police force or any of their jobs, and they will be independent.
Right.
But when America sees that, they see that as, to them that's scary, and to them that's war. They'll take that as a signal of, they're gonna try to overcome us. They're gonna try to fight us. Well, no, that's not true. That's just their guilt from what they have done to us in the past.
Right.
Like they become so guilty when you speak the truth.
Right.
It's ridiculous. Go ahead.
So like I said, we had two questions online.
Go ahead.
Come on, sir. Sister asks, voting is unlawful, that I know, but is protesting unlawful as well, even though I know we're not supposed to do it.
Who's this?
This is Damar, sir.
Damar?
Sir.
Damar, okay, what do you mean by protesting? Because the righteous protest that the UPK does, we speak on the streets and tell the truth.
Right.
But as far as like walking with Black Lives Matter and everything like that, no, that's not, it's wrong. You hurt your feet. You know what I'm saying? You just hurt your legs, man.
Right.
You overwalking, so it's not gonna work. Our protest is speaking the truth for the Most High God.
Right.
Our protest is not doing America's filthy traditions and not sinning.
Right.
And doing what the Most High wants us to do.
Right.
The Most High doesn't want us to walk the streets and ask for equal rights, because we're asking a man to save us who can't save us. That's what it is. Like, we're asking for equal rights. That's not it. The Lord will be back. The Lord will require us to pray to Him rather than walk down the street and sing and scream Black Lives Matter.
Right.
No justice, no peace, or all those things all those phrases that they yell. You know what I'm saying? It's a waste of time, and then you get yourself hurt because later on, the police will create a line and shoot you with rubber bullets. And you're going to get, the TIG that's shot at you. It's rather that you stay home. It's better that you come to class and pray to the Most High. Right. That is more effective than walking and, screaming Black. Because they look at you like a threat. You're going to walk to the you're going to protest at the Capitol. And as you've seen, when they did a side-by-side picture of when Black Lives Matter protests at the Capitol, how they had all them soldiers lined up on the steps, versus when what Joe Biden said about the Proud Boys, those thugs, versus when those thugs stormed the Capitol and got in. The thing is this: there were Proud Boys also on the Capitol Police Force.
Right.
That's the thing. The thing is, you know what I'm saying, the hatred or the racism, the white supremacy is so embedded that it's in the White House.
Right.
Rather you're Democrat or Republican, your security guard is a white supremacist.
Right.
Your Virginia lawmaker is a white supremacist. Your Virginia police, there were 2 Virginia police officers who stormed. They police officers now. They were supposed to be the police officers that come and help form the line to stop the thugs from getting in. It was 2 Virginia police officers who just got arrested on a police force who stormed the Capitol.
Right.
It's crazy. You're fighting your own brother. It was white on white crime.
Right.
You know, it shows it's like they can't even get it together. So why are we looking for an answer from them?
Right.
When they can't even agree with each other.
Right.
And that's why, you know, the Lord don't have democracy. Democracy is so it can be evil. You got two different options. Imagine if you had democracy in your household, which actually we do, because black households, democracy has destroyed black families. It has gave the woman an option not to listen to her man. She can put her man out because the government has become her new daddy. The government will give her TANF, Section 8, or, you know, they will provide her assistance and tell her that, you know, we'll get you that assistance as long as your man is not in that house. So what black women would do would put their man out. Some black women will keep you, but you know, when the people come, you know, you gotta go away somewhere or something like that for a little bit. I mean, for a couple hours or whatever. But for the most part, it's in their policy. If a black woman wants to get government assistance, her man cannot live with her, which is a shame.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? If America's really about justice and really about, you know, helping people pursuing their dreams and, you know, taking care of the poor, why does a man have to be outside the household?
Right.
It's because really they want to destroy and separate the black family.
Right.
That's right.
You know, it's ridiculous. Where was I at?
Isaiah 30:1, sir.
Go ahead, continue to read that. Oh, what was the second question? Sorry.
Yes. Like if I may, sir. The brother asks, he says, Shalom, can I get a breakdown or scripture about women preaching?
The women preaching, you're going to look in 1 Timothy chapter 2 and 11.
Yes, sir.
1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11. Because he pulled that real quick. What brother? Who was that?
The brother's name is Jose.
Jose?
Yeah, cuz, sir.
Okay. Jose, the woman preaching is, I believe, it should be 1 Timothy chapter 2 and 11. Because I'm going to pull it real quick, and then we're going to move on.
Go ahead, read it, sir.
Yeah, go ahead and read it.
Come. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence.
Right. So, the woman is to learn in silence. No, she can. This is the Bible when she's learning from you. If she, you know, is in school or whatever, she will learn from her professor or whoever's teaching the curriculum. But when it comes to the Bible, she will learn from you. When you're giving her instruction, she will be in silence and learn, and, you know, take orders from her man and learn from her man. Go ahead.
With all subjection.
With all subjection. I mean, it's not, you know what I'm saying? You don't have, you know, there's no like back and forth. Like you letting her know, you teaching her, and she might try to come up against your teaching like, oh no, that's not true. Or I was taught this, and you know, she might think she has an opinion when she doesn't. If it's right, if you're trying to tell your woman to do something wrong, then of course she can say, well, that's you trying to tell me to sin, and she can stand up against that.
Right.
But if it's all righteous, if it's something righteous and she just doesn't want to do it because she wants to be a monster, then she needs to fight her demons.
Right.
Go ahead and read.
Verse 12. But I suffer not a woman to teach.
But I suffer a woman not to teach, meaning she's not supposed to teach the Bible.
Right.
The Christian church has broke, as you've seen, like I said earlier, black pastors used to be they knew, and they read the scripture and knew that there could not be any woman pastors.
Right.
Now, how many women pastors do you have now?
All of them. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? You got sister so-and-so telling you about this and about that. And it's really her worldly woman advice.
Right.
And it's evil. It's really strengthening our black woman to be more liberated against her man.
Right.
And not to be in order. And to make her think that she has make her think that the relationship is 50-50 when it's not.
Right.
Because clearly First Corinthians 14:34. No, that one says
11:3, sir.
That 34 says woman learn and ask her husband at home. First Corinthians 11:3. It breaks down the order, which is it says God is the head.
That's right.
Christ is God's head. Christ is the head of men, and men is the head of woman.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But those Christian pastors or woman pastors will make it seem like it's 50-50.
Right.
Like I have never seen no woman pastor say, listen, y'all, you listen to your man. Stop giving your man such a damn headache. Stop giving her such a headache.
Right.
Stop running your mouth and listen to your man. I never seen a woman tell another woman shut her mouth.
Right.
Which that's what a lot of times she should do.
Right.
Continue to read.
Okay. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 12. But I suffer not a woman to teach.
Right. So, woman, you can teach those children, man. Raise those children up and teach them the right thing.
Right.
Don't be a monster and teach your child the wrong, teach them to hate their father or teach them to be disobedient. You get what I'm saying? And black men also, y'all work as a team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't have any democracy in that household. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be one. It's not supposed to be your child asks you for a phone. Daddy said no, but mommy said yes. That should never happen ever.
That's right.
Your mother should say, what did your father say?
Right.
Or even if the child asks the mother, and sometimes the father, because they are one and in unison, didn't I heard your mother say that you can't, you're not getting this phone. You're not getting this right now. So no.
Right.
Your child should never be able to play both of y'all against each other. That's what democracy is.
Right.
Democracy is you have two choices. When that should be a monarchy. Monarchy is one king.
Right.
That's what we live under. One.
That's right.
We obey one God.
That's right.
This is a monarchy, man.
God.
And that's why America hates communists and all those other kind of what's the definition for it? Those other kind of orders and governments. Because they have one leader and they don't have a choice. They don't have a choice.
Right.
America hates that.
Right.
America hates it, and that's why America will pay, citizens in the Middle East to rise up against their leader.
Mm-hmm.
Citizens in Russia, they'll pay Ukraine to rise up against Putin.
Right.
And things of that nature. But let Putin pay us to rise up against, America's to rise up against Muslim, so it's going to be an all-out war.
Right.
But America is always minding somebody else's business.
Right.
They're ridiculous, man. Continue to read.
Nor to usurp authority over the man.
That's the most important part. Nor for her to usurp authority over the man. A woman doesn't have any authority over the man, but America, once again, will teach our women to do so. Right. Democrats will teach our women to do so. They'll give her liberty and say that you can have an abortion when sometimes that father, in some cases, some men want to keep that child. but she doesn't want to keep it because she's been taught and Americanized, and she's been taught that she should, this is her last year of college. She should finish college instead of having a baby.
Right.
Or, having this baby can stop her from getting that new job that she wants. She would choose money and success over the life that's in her womb.
Right.
And that's what we're being taught. But if we had strong black leaders, our mindsets would be different.
Right.
But our black leaders just there's no protection. So our enemies have invaded our spirituality and invaded our the way we think.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas though as a whole, black people should know as a whole it should be against abortion.
That's right.
Like there's some racists there's some races of people who are one-minded. Like there's some Arabs. There's a huge group of Arabs who are all believe in Allah and who are all one-minded. And then a few of them trickle off to America. I know Arabs that celebrate Christmas and some Arabs that eat pork.
Right.
But from the majority of them don't eat pork or don't do certain things. There's a majority of East Indians and Chinese people that have their culture and they stick to it.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But we don't have that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Black people, we don't like you gotta understand, like how many of these nations have their own army? There's no black army at all.
Right.
Right.
Like we don't, that's how you know we're not even a nation. We don't even have our own army.
Right.
You tell an American now, tell a white man that, and he'll say, yeah, you got black people in the army. We're fighting for you. We're fighting for our oppressor.
Right.
And there's so many black veteran stories where though they go to America. They go to war. They pick up guns with a white man and they're side by side with a white man. And they go to war in Vietnam,
Right.
going to war in Afghanistan and Iraq. But when they come home, they're home and there's still racism that exists.
Right.
That is very confusing and mind exploding for the veterans, man. It's they feel ashamed.
Right.
I talked to a lot of veterans that was like, yeah, I got back home and racism still exists and people still racist against me. And imagine how you feel you picking up a gun for America. A gun to fight off a so-called enemy of America, come home and then be treated like trash in your own home.
Yeah.
And that is a shame.
Right.
That's confusion. But that's what America is. America is the author of confusion.
Right.
Right.
Same thing let's get back to our women. Same thing for our women. Like our women are supposed to be in a certain order. And we supposed to know it's not just and we also got to know how to take care of our sisters also. Take care of our women and how to treat them also. Also not treat them like a tool.
Right.
And not use them. And learn how to treat them like that. Like that's your sister. Right. She's a human being also.
Right.
So you got to know how to take care of them and deal with them also. But she is supposed to be in order and not usurp authority over a man.
Right.
But today you have black women that'll get up all up in a black man's face so she can fight with him.
Right.
When he can knock her lights out.
Right.
But that's the liberty that she's been liberated with. You know what I'm saying? She think that, she can tell you that you ain't nothing and, and she did slap you. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of a lot of us, they might speak about black men abusing black women, but as women who have been liberated, they still smack a man.
Right.
They will hit you and punch you and think you ain't supposed to hit them back. When that is not the case. And it's not equality. So what happened to equality?
Right.
Right.
Like if you want equal rights, you should know that, you can equally get, beat.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't do that.
Right.
But that's the confusion that America has raised our sisters up. That's what they taught them. You can go ahead and continue to read.
Come. But to be in silence.
But to be in silence, meaning to shut that mouth. Like your husband is giving you an order, you learning from the Bible, and your husband is giving you, and also when your husband is giving you an order at home and telling you to do something, it ain't all that back and forth. It's learning is being in silence. You don't usurp, you do not usurp authority over a man.
Right.
Go ahead.
That's it.
It's continue to read because it should explain.
Come.
Go ahead.
Verse
I wanna
13.
get the whole. This is the whole reason why you black women upset with UPK because we say you gotta get an order to shut your mouth. It's your fault. We're gonna read why it's your fault. Read on.
Verse 13. For Adam was first formed.
For who?
For Adam was first formed.
For Adam was first formed. Go ahead.
Then Eve.
Then Eve. You would have helped me. And something else. Go ahead.
And Adam was not deceived.
And Adam was not deceived. You were the gullible one.
Right.
You were gullible.
Right.
Just like today, you're still gullible.
Right.
You still fall for all the sales and the promos. Sometimes them sales are good. Sometimes that couch, that TV, I be like, babe, let's buy that. Other times, no, you're buying too much. Save that money. You know, you don't need, everything that come on that commercial or that Amazon.
Right.
And Amazon could be evil too. But, I'm joking on that. But, you were most definitely, she was deceived because the serpent told her that she could be, that the Lord did not want her to know the knowledge between good and evil because then she would be equal as him. Then she would be a God.
Right.
And a lot of our women in general just love the attention and love to be a goddess.
Right.
Which is nothing wrong with attention. Like your woman, give your woman attention. Let her know she's beautiful. Let her know she's good. Some women some of your woman needs that so she won't be so much damn on Facebook and Instagram and whatever else, TikTok and doing a busted challenge and twerking or whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Tell your woman she's beautiful. Maybe that she want to embarrass you on social media.
Right.
So she can do the busted challenge, but only for you.
Right.
She can twerk, but only for you. She can do the WAP and the throw baby, all that, but it's for you. I like that song. I like that song, but it's for you. You get what I'm saying? It ain't for the whole world to see either. Isn't it? It's in privacy between y'all two. You get what I'm saying? Is it okay? That should be it then.
It's a little more.
Okay, go ahead.
Come on, sir. But the woman being deceived was in the transgression.
Right. You were this one that was in transgression. You were the one that sinned when the Lord said, "Do not, read the constellations." That's the fruit that the apple is. The fruit. The Bible doesn't even say apple. It says fruit.
Right. Right.
And the fruit was not, a physical piece of fruit. You know what I'm saying? The Lord used to contact and speak to Adam through the constellations. When you read, there used to be, and people can still do it today, I believe. You can read the constellations and you would know when to plant, when to harvest. Like the seasons, of course, you know that it's fall. So you know that, around about fall, that's when it's time for me to sell the squash. It's time to reap the squash and certain fruits. And then during the spring, so there's no squash, there's, apples or whatever that comes in the spring. But also, of course, that's the climate and the seasons and the weather. Also, the stars will tell you also.
Right.
Go ahead.
So, like, if I may, so all that information you're referring to is collected and compiled in what they call today the Farmer's Almanac. What you're saying, how now you can refer to this book right here, and it'll tell you all those things that the Lord showed Adam through the stars.
Right. So, the Lord, like the Farmer's Almanac. Before the Farmer's Almanac, Adam would read the stars.
Right.
So that was what they was reading. It was some part of the stars or some part of the constellation where they were not supposed to read. And the serpent told Eve, the Lord just don't want you to know because then you'll be like him. You'll be close to him.
Right.
And and she imagined that power and she wanted it. And she went after it and then she paid for it. Go ahead and continue to read.
Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing.
You can be saved through childbearing. You know what I'm saying? Have them children. You know what I'm saying? Not if you can't have children or whatever, it's not, don't say you have, don't say you must. But you're gonna be it's not just through child, it's not just having children and that's it. Because you can have children and still be a sinner. Right. So of course, number one is following the Most High God.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Following his commandments.
Right.
But having children, do not abort them babies. Go ahead, read on.
Come. If they continue in faith and charity.
See, if you continue in faith, having children and continue in the faith, continue in doing the works of the Most High. You know, so continue to serve them brothers. Continue to not be a sinner, man.
Right.
And do what righteous men of the Lord require you to do. Within serving your nation. What else is in?
And holiness with sobriety.
Right. That should be it, right?
Yeah, come on.
All right. So that's Jose. You got that?
Yeah, he said the what?
Yeah, that's it right there, Jose. But also, Jose, you have to also be righteous because that Eve. I mean, well, a woman. It depends on the woman's strength. A woman could follow the Most High, and then you be a sinner. But if you're saying that you are a man of God, but you're a sinner, she ain't gonna listen to you. She's not gonna listen to you because she's gonna know that you're a hypocrite. And you'll come and in your time in the truth, and especially with me with personal experience, I have learned that the more I become blameless, the more my woman will become blameless.
Right.
Because you're the head.
Right.
So you got to be number one. You got to be not righteous number one.
Right.
You have to be the leader and the example. Don't be pissed off with your woman and she talking back or doing this and doing that, and you sinning too. Or you ain't always right too. You know what I'm saying? Y'all grow together.
Right.
And she's not going to grow within that year. You know what I'm saying? That year she will get the basics down. She'll stop. If she's, for the most part, she will stop smoking, stop eating pork. So she'll try to work on that mouth. That mouth is going to take hundreds of years.
Right.
But it will get better. It can get better. And it will get better. But you'll see the more of an example, the more disciplined you become. You know what I'm saying? Your wife won't have an excuse. You get what I'm saying? They ain't gonna have patience, with your wife. Just like the Lord have patience with you.
Right.
But you'll know how to measure it. Like you'll know, okay, with this thing, I just don't personally like when she does this, but she's not sinning. So I'll leave her alone. I'll let her do that. I need to stop being so irritated by that and have patience with her. You know what I'm saying? Because that's something. It could be a personal trait of hers.
Right.
Let me have patience. Or it could be it's a time to check her, to full out, raise your voice, and like, look, I gave you warnings of doing this. You continue to doing this. Like you gotta, straighten that out. Stop doing it. Go ahead.
If I may, I was coming out of the mall, and a woman, her sister, pulled up to the side, put her blinkers on, and was blocking traffic. So it was an old couple came behind her, and they were trying to make sure she wasn't going to pull off before they went around her. So they slowly went around her, but they had tapped the horn, not her, but they tapped the horn so that, she would know they're behind. So they started to go around. The girl opened the door and cussed them all the way out. So as she was passing by her, before her door could close, I was like, no, sister. So then she looked at me, had that same look in her eye, but she wanted to know what I said first. So she said, what you say? I said, that was a little bit too much. That was a little too extra, right there. I said, come on, sister. And the look that I gave her, you could tell that she was being submissive to what I'm saying naturally, because she was all the way off the hook. But when she saw a black man sit there like, sister, come on. Like, it's like some sense.
Sometimes,
right. Calm down, everything. But yeah, it can be
sometimes that is needed. Like sometimes, it's not going to work when you full out, curse her out.
Right.
That is needed. But sometimes when you catch yourself, like I catch myself, do that too much and it's not working, then you got to go the other way. You got to full out, she's punisher. Not physically, but you got to, check her all the way to the ground. Because you build your patience and you've been telling her, come on, sister, come on, like, do this, it's talking like this. Like we gotta do this, we gotta be better, we gotta do this, that. And what I've learned is that, you know, especially for black people, we just do better. And so somehow we get the message clear when a person raise their voice. Yeah.
If I may, if it was just to see the humbleness,
Right.
you know, like in my mind, sometimes sisters, you can look at a sister and be like, oh, she's completely gone.
Right.
But she did look completely gone, but to see the humbleness on her face,
Yeah.
that put a little faith in me.
She just need a man. And
Right.
it's good they put faith in you because it will show you like our women, they are bugged out, but we should never first of all, we should never give up on them. Because they'll be like that and we'll say, okay, we don't get a white one. Like, you see that sister right there? Like, I'm getting a white girl.
Nice.
I'm getting a white girl. And it make all the sense in the world. It seems like it makes sense, but it does not. Just like, you know, the same way brothers are, you know, robbing people, doing stick-ups and selling drugs and all, and, you know, they're crazy and down and oppressed. Our black women, we gotta remember, we don't all remember, they are oppressed too. Like, you know what I'm saying? You might be hanging on the block, police might roll up on you and slap the cuffs on you and frisk you. Totally, you know, breaking law and not, you know, abusing your rights. They'll do the same thing to her. They have done the same thing to her. You know what I'm saying? There's so much stuff that they go through. You get what I'm saying? So that's why you gotta have that patience. You gotta understand, like, you know, I feel oppressed and I feel like drinking myself to death. She feel like bringing herself to death too. So, you know, that was good that you seen that. Like, don't give up on our sisters. You get what I'm saying? Don't give up on them.
That's right.
Because that's what I need. A black man, you know, you ain't coming curse her out. You came at her like, come on, sis, like, you know, come on, look at what you just did. Like, that was too much. And a lot of times they take that. A lot of times they might be, you know, acting like that. You talk to them like that, and it works. It has worked for me a couple times, a lot. Not a couple times, a lot. But, you know, it depends on the situation. Start off like that. If it doesn't work, curse her out. If it doesn't work, she needs to be full out. Because it been like when I first came to the school when I was 19. I had a teacher in high school who, and that was the Lord that was with me. Because I full out. I didn't use any profanity, but I raised my voice and I was in her face and I told her that she was evil. I said, "You need to stop being evil. You need to stop being wicked. You a monster." I was 19. She was like 30s. Her spirit was, and even the next day when next week when she seen me, like I seen her and I thought that she was gonna be angry at me. But when I seen her, she was like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm 19, she's in her 30s. So because in class, like she used to be at the students, like, yeah, like I guess she thought she had to be, I guess, tough, or I don't know why she was like that to the students, but you know, I came to the UPK, they put a spirit in me to not have a woman to do that. So I didn't care how old you was. If you was acting evil, and you was doing it to me, or if you was acting evil in class, I probably was going to check you, even if you was my teacher. And you know, her spirit had changed. It was crazy. I said, damn, most high crazy. When I seen her the next time, I was like, kind of like guarded, like, oh, she better be like, you know, still be evil, still be yelling and all that. But her spirit was, her voice was, "Hey, how's it going? How you doing?" I was like, "Oh, no." So, but you know, where we at? You still got Isaiah, right? Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord.
We are being destroyed for trusting in the Pharaoh, trusting into people who are not trusting into God, for not following Christ. We have been destroyed for that. We trusted the Greeks. And the Greeks had us to eat pork. Man. Kazak, I want you to find a story when the king, when they gave us license, when they gave us an apocrypha, when they gave us license to have a gymnasium, I believe. Go ahead, continue to read that.
Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me,
right, to take counsel, but not to me. Like we take advice, but we don't take the Lord's advice. Like people, like I'm listening to the radio, and they saying, and it was a woman that was happy because there was like I believe 3 judges who wanted to impeach the attorney general in the city where Breonna Taylor was murdered at. Because the attorney general, they said did not deal with the evidence and deal with that case correctly. Like they just they didn't arrest the people that killed Breonna Taylor or anything. So the lady, the radio personality, she said, yeah, now she said that's what happens when when you vote, and then the people that you voted for did what you whatever you voted them in. So now they're working for you. And now we got 3 judges trying to impeach the attorney general of the city that Breonna Taylor was murdered at. And I'm like, no, sister. Like, that's not it. But we think we got to vote. Whereas, though, we should know if the council, where it says, read that again about the council.
Come. That take counsel, but not of me.
Like, we don't take counsel of the Lord, but we'll take counsel of America. We'll go vote and think that America is going to treat us good. When in 2020, it's a slap in the face for Joe Biden to create some executive order saying that he's going to give us equal rights and equal opportunity. And for so long, the American dream has been here, but Black people and Latinos have not been able to enjoy it. We fought for that 60 years ago.
Right.
It takes you 60 years to have an executive order to say Black. I mean, if I look around, it's going to be the same thing. Black people picking higher. Black people, police officers. Black people, work in the government. Black people work with white people in the kitchen. There was an African president.
Right.
I mean, so that really is a crumb and a slap in the face.
Right.
And that's what Democrats do. They give us like crumbs.
Right.
They give us crumbs like I need to find. I always have it. I'm gonna find that president or there was a person that was in office who came up with a tactic of he came up with a tactic to get Black people to always vote Democrat, and that vote was give them a crumb, and that crumb was like food stamps or some kind of assistance. But go ahead and continue. I need you to continue to read. So like,
Come.
you found because
Yeah, go.
okay.
But
Also,
not.
find the one also when they try to make us, when they killed us from that, when they try to make us eat pork. I believe it might be the sisters and their sons. Find that story too. But go ahead.
Come. That take counsel, but not of me.
Right.
And that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit.
Like we cover with a cover, but not of our spirit. Like so imagine, you got on what football, basketball fan are you?
Oh, home team all day.
Right. So imagine you having a Washington football team jersey on. You know that brother likes the Washington football team. But we cover this, but a majority of us covering of America. Like we believe that we're American and that, the home of the free. We know, even Uncle Tom, no racism exists, but because of fear, we just won't go again. We just won't fully look at America as even as our enemy. Yeah. A Black man will tell you, the I.S.U.P.K. will full out tell you no. You know what I'm saying? Our oppressor is the enemy. Our oppressor has been oppressing us. And a Black man that lives in fear, a Christian who will tell you, "Oh, you can't hate. You gotta love everybody." Y'all speak so much hate, but when you look at it, we're talking about, and it's so crazy because the time that when we're speaking about, there's times that we're attacked. All we're doing is simply bringing up times when Blacks, Latino, and American Indians were attacked and treated wrongfully. It has become it's become wrong. We can't even speak about when we're getting attacked. That's ridiculous. But everybody else has the freedom to speak against when they're attacked. The Jewish community, they can speak about the Holocaust. They can have a Holocaust museum. they can still arrest Nazis who's, you know, they almost did, like they arrested Nazis who's 80 and 90 years old.
Right.
They falling apart. They almost done. You know, but when it comes to black people, you can't talk about when you're attacked.
Right.
That's ridiculous, man. Go ahead and continue to read.
That cover with the covering, but not of my spirit.
Right, like the spirit is if we were all covered with the covering of the Most High God, black people as a whole will not vote. Latino as a whole will not spoke. Blacks and Latinos be homosexual. And that's what Biden is fighting for. Biden is fighting for, once again, those transgender bathrooms. Have a woman man or a man woman in that bathroom, a transgender woman with a penis in that bathroom pissing beside your child. That is disgusting. But that's what they push. That's what they push. The homosexuals are going to have more rights than Negroes. Go ahead and continue to read.
That they may add sin to sin.
And sin unto sin. Like we got to, now we're liberated. Now we're voting, and now we're free. I can be gay, and he can be, and I sin unto sin, man. It's ridiculous. It was some dumb thing I was watching today. Y'all heard about the babies? How do they call it? Babies. Don't call your child when your child is born, coming out of the room. It's not a baby. You can call it a baby. The baby is this. The baby is from when the baby comes out of the womb, all the way to like, I mean, they said 4 years old, the baby can choose its own gender. The baby can choose its own gender. So there was a white man who was against it. He said, so at 4 years old, they can make it a life decision like that? And a woman who was advocating the baby thing, she was like, I forgot what stupid stuff she said, but he was trying to cut her. He was like, so at 4 years old, I guess they can think about, they want to drink alcohol then.
Right.
Or if they want to, he was just bringing up different things that once you're 18 or 21 or an adult that you can do. I guess he was saying, so at 4 years old, you can drink, you can do this, you can do that. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, clearly, like, that's why they're both a monster and an animal. The Republicans and the Democrats.
Right.
The Republicans, you see the racism on their face.
Right.
You see, so they fully want you to be their slave. The Republicans or the Proud Boys would lynch you, and some of them won't lynch you. They will want you back in that field. They want you back working for them, and they want you back to go laugh in the bucket, or what do they call that? What's that thing? They want you to go and laugh in the box or a barrel. They want you to go and when you laugh, when you feel like you're going to laugh, they want you to go and stick your head in the barrel and laugh. They would have you go back to that. And the Democrats, which seem so much nicer, but they still don't care about your heavier slaves. The Democrats will give one of you a position, just so all of you, they'll give one of you a position, so the rest of you can't cry and call racism. And they'll spread disgusting homosexuality on you.
Right.
And they'll give you a woman license to murder a life in their womb before 6 months. They're both evil monsters, man.
Right.
But for some reason, we feel so much comfortable with Democrats because they make us a token.
Right.
And Biden is fully just saying, I have never seen a president, even Barack Obama is not saying the things that Biden is saying. Like, Biden fully is saying Black and Latino community out of his mouth. Yeah. We got to, they're being mistreated. They're underserved. We got to help them out. They're being mistreated. Like, he's saying it out of their mouth. Even Biden even said, if Black people was the ones that stormed the Capitol, they would have been killed.
Yeah. Right.
He even said that as like he's going hard with this thing. but it's an illusion. It's smoke and mirrors.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? He's saying all this just to win the heart, and it's all about this. It's all about hope. Like, brother, give me the definition of hope. He's just trying to pull hope, man. And that's what Obama, like, it's crazy when Obama was what was Obama's campaign? Hope.
Right.
Like, that's it. No.
Come on. A feeling of expectation and desire for a certain thing to happen.
Black people, you getting lynched, getting killed by the cops. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting hired. You're going to get your credit score. Some of you going to get your credit score 700 and 800, and you're not going to get that business loan or whatever because of your skin, because of what you look like. Obama comes in and wants to read it again.
A feeling of expectation.
Obama came in to give you the feeling. And black people, we gotta learn how to not be we're so emotional. That's how they get us. They get it through emotions. Like Kazak was saying. Like Biden's inauguration had J-Lo singing, then they had spoken word, snapping fingers. All to play our emotions, man. That's what church, and they got that from the Christian church.
Right.
The Christian church plays music and soft music and all that, and they play loud music and all emotions, man, to get you riled up. All that is just to get you riled up.
Right.
And they have learned to take the Democrats have learned to take that out of the book. Even Trump had a black choir in his inauguration. Trump, you know what I'm saying? It was all church, man. That's what it is. It gets your emotions high for nothing. We you know what I'm saying? Black people, Latino people, we are that woman that got stood up on a date or whatever. That we just got stood up. We thought we was going to be taken out on a date, or somebody promised us something. We never get it. Go ahead.
Now we're whores.
Exactly. Your brother right. And now we're whores, man. We looking for anything we do anything to get love. We'll do anything to get love, and it's ridiculous. Go ahead and continue to read, y'all.
Okay. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 2. That walk to go down into Egypt.
Right. So that walking down to Egypt is walking down to America. Read on.
And have not asked at my mouth.
And I'm not asked at my mouth. The Lord is we go down. We went down to those voting polls. We went down to vote for Barack Obama. We voted for Biden because everybody was so scared of Trump, and Trump was so evil. Like Biden isn't any less evil. But we didn't require what the Bible says. We don't require what God wants us to do. And if we just do that, then clearly you will have position, man. Like we're fighting for equality when the Lord wants Black and Latinos to be the rulers on the earth.
Right.
Did you know that? Give me, brother, you give me Deuteronomy. Huh?
7:6.
No, give me Deuteronomy 28:1. Deuteronomy 28:1, like the Lord, like we begging for equality, like that, and that's another thing. Like Black people, you gotta understand, you are the chosen of Israel. You are God's chosen people. The Lord said, if you obey my voice, He's gonna make you rulers on the earth.
Right.
Meanwhile, we do like the Bible, like Isaiah is saying, we are being destroyed. We are destroyed because we are not asking at God's mouth. We're asking at our oppressor's mouth to save us. And He not. Oh, Biden is rolling out has signed an executive order that Black people be treated fairly. Have we been talking about that? What's new about that? Nothing. It's a slap in the face into something that I thought black. We know, racism. We know being killed. We know there's racism, but I'm pretty sure, black people are getting hired. It's black people that work at Google,
Right.
so I'm pretty sure, we at least can get hired almost anywhere, but not all of us. I guess more of us got to get hired at Google or something like that. I don't know, but it's ridiculous. What have you again? 28. Go ahead.
Come. Deuteronomy 28, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of thy Lord, of the Lord thy God.
Right. If you listen and obey, if we stop getting high, if we stop being homosexuals, man, if we stop having sex with another man's woman, if we stop sinning against the Lord, go ahead.
To observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations.
No, the Lord gonna make you equal.
No, above all nations.
The Lord will make you. The Lord said above all nations. Man.
Right.
Like that. Like you see how it's so stupid. You see how Isaiah 30 says, we're not asking the Lord. The reason we destroy is because we are not asking at the Lord's mouth. And then you read Deuteronomy 20:1 and it tells you, if you do act at the Lord's mouth and do obey his voice, then you will be above all nations. Not equal. Not get the same pay.
Right.
Not Biden rolling out some damn executive order. The Lord's damn Biden's executive order, the Most High's executive order is that you follow him and you're going to be above everybody.
That's right.
That's Yahweh's executive order.
That's right.
We got to stop being slaves, man.
Right.
But it comes from our leadership. Our leadership, the people that we choose as our leaders, that is the reason why we're in the predicament that we're in today. That is the reason why we're in this poor state. And we're in this mixed multitude state. Mixed multitude is a group of people that have different philosophies and different wants and different feelings about things. Like when Moses released the people out of Egypt, got the people out of Egypt, and the Lord released the people out of Egypt, there was a mixed multitude. Some people did not want to go with Moses. They disagreed with Moses. Some people wanted to go back to Egypt, back to slavery, because it was a city, it was established, they had markets. Now when they left Egypt, they were in the wilderness, so they had to hunt for their own food. They didn't want to hunt for their own food. They wanted to go back they wanted to go back into captivity just to go to a safe way. It's ridiculous,
Right.
That's us.
Right.
You cannot be a mixed multitude. Right. Okay. So give me what you got, Kazak.
God, I got. Also, we got another question online too. So
Okay.
I have Second Maccabees. Well, First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 11. First.
Go ahead.
Come. First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men.
Right, you hear that? Went out of Israel, wicked men
who persuaded many.
From this and this apocrypha here and the New Testament, there's always wicked people, black leaders, who got to persuade us to do something wicked.
Right.
Like as a whole and naturally, we are angry. Any person, black, white, Chinese, you are angry and emotions come when your daughter is killed, when your son is killed.
Right.
So now, but you are not allowed to feel that emotion, or you are not to display that emotion. You have to stay calm. You have to be forgiving. You got to be forgiving. But everybody else gets a chance to be angry at that daughter being killed, except you. You're not allowed to be human in America. So this one, Go ahead. Wicked men start from the top.
Come on. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
Go and take a covenant, make a promise, make a treaty. Go and sign something with the heathen.
Right.
The heathen are people who are not your people.
Right.
Let us go make a contract with the white man.
Right.
With the oppressor. Let us go make a contract with, somebody who's not your people. Go ahead.
That are round about us. For since we departed from them,
since we left them, just like in Egypt,
right?
Just like in Egypt, when we left up on the Pharaoh's captivity, and we wanted to go back to captivity to go to Safeway. Now what?
Keep reading.
Go ahead. Keep reading.
For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
We have had much sorrow. Same thing.
Right.
Since we left from them, man, they've been attacking us. They've been after us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We got to hunt for our own food. It ain't no Macy's. Read on.
Come on. So this device pleased them well.
So let's please them well. Let's please them. This is how we're gonna please them and attack and stop them from attacking us. Go ahead.
Come on. Verse 13. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen.
Right. So some of them are so forward, some of them so much of a sellout.
Right.
And so against them, and so disrespectful against the Most High. They went to the heathen to now drop the laws of the Most High. So now imagine you follow the laws of the Most High. You're not eating pork, crab, shrimp, or lobster. You follow the laws of the Most High. You go to America, and now you go to America and say you go to the oppressor, and now the oppressor tells you can eat pork. Now you can be a bisexual now.
Right.
You can be bisexual. You can be homosexual. You could be a pedophile. Yeah, all these different things. Because those heathens do all that stuff.
Right.
Go ahead and read.
Come on. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen.
Right. So now they built a place of exercise according to the heathen. So now they built a gymnasium. And I believe the definition of gymnasium is like a Greek word, but it's when and during that time they would work out and wrestle naked in the Greeks.
Right.
And that is us uncovering ourselves in general, just for you. And it's a law in the Bible. We ain't to see each other naked.
Kind.
So you see a woman naked, but in the other, we're not to see each other naked.
Gotcha.
And if we do, you turn your face at your brother, your stomach is showing, something is showing, because and our culture, and black, culture, usually we work out, we play basketball with our shirts off.
Right.
That is a Greek custom.
Right.
They would be more naked than that. We it's shirts versus skins, but they'll be, I don't know, balls versus whatever. I don't know.
Yikes.
That's them.
Cause.
That's their culture. But we went to ask, we were so forward. We were so forward, and we went to go ask the heathen king for that. Go ahead.
Oh, it's like if I may. I remember in Hebrew Academy, and this always stuck with me because we kind of grew up similar to that, but not knowing the law.
Right.
But I remember in Hebrew Academy, one of the brothers was getting ready to do one of the fighting things, and one of the brothers took his sweatshirt off, and he had on a tank top. And I remember you and I think Captain Nakazak was there, and he was like, "No, brother, the brother had a tank top on, but even y'all was like, no, brother, you don't show your nakedness." And it just stuck with me about how stringent, we have to be in that matter. And I was like, ever since then, I was like, wow, that's a whole other level of discipline.
Right. Even that, like you ain't, what I'm saying. Even that, like we gonna cover ourselves. We're gonna follow the law.
Right.
And be stringent on, like you're saying.
Right.
Go ahead and read.
Come. And made themselves uncircumcised and forsook.
Go ahead.
And forsook the holy covenant.
Uncircumcised meaning now we made ourselves sinners.
Right.
Now we're exercising naked in Jerusalem.
Right.
We built a gymnasium in the traditions of the heathen.
Right.
Meaning, it's not that we weren't exercising back then. Of course, we were working out. We were warriors.
Right.
We trained. We sparred. But we wasn't. I'm not sparring with you naked.
Right.
But that's what them Greeks do. Them Greeks, it's historical. They got statues
Concept.
with men, testicle to testicles,
Yep.
flipping each other and grappling each other. They got statues like that.
Concept.
You want somebody else nuts on your forehead. That is reduced. That's gay.
Yeah. Con.
That's homosexual.
Right.
Something is, that is a demon that, you're what do you call it? The Bible says a vessel
Of dishonor.
a vessel of dishonor.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Straight
You're a
up.
vessel of dishonor.
Come on.
All honorable things, all dishonorable things, man.
Concept.
That's what these heathens do.
Right.
Go ahead.
And join themselves to the heathen.
And join themselves to the heathen. Like we had a culture of not celebrating Christmas, not celebrating birthdays, not celebrating Easter, not eating certain things, not having sex with certain women, and not having sex with men. That was our culture. But time and time again, the kings would go to war with us. And you have men who would stand up and die for the Most High God.
Right.
Because there was a reward for that.
Right.
The Most High was going to reward us. Then you had other men who were scared, who wanted to be survivors. And Jeremiah broke this down before in class. A lot of us are born from survivors.
Yeah.
Like slavery, slavery that happened 100 years ago. It came from, a lot of slaves that, some of them had to survive. Some may have escaped to the north. Others just had played their part. And was quiet. Yes, sir. No, sir. And, they would let their wife, the wife got taken and took into the shack. And master had his way with your wife. And you had to be quiet. You just held your mouth and you cried. And you held your mouth. But you ain't go and kill master.
Right.
Because you had to survive. The other men chose death,
Right.
even in those times too.
Right.
That's what UPK do. We choose death.
Right.
Yeah, we did anyway.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Tough.
And our sisters do too. Our sisters is just as tough.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Come. And were sold to do mischief.
And so to do mischief, trouble, sin, dishonorable things.
Right.
Once, like I said, you read in the time of Egypt, and this time with the Greeks or the Romans, and in the time of the New Testament, where it's always wicked men who persuaded people. Those wicked men today are our black leaders today, and those are the reason. They are the reason why we vote for Biden, and we hate Trump,
Right.
and we vote for Obama. When if there was truly men of the Lord, they'll be saying what UPK is saying. They'll be saying what Commander YAHANNA said, which is we vote for Christ all day and all night until we die. Christ is always on the ballot. So the black man ain't Jesus Christ. Like he ain't, like it ain't, that's it. Because time and time again, America will never fully heal black people and Latino people, never. Because that would be too scary for them. For them to give us our own nation, our own army, our own businesses and everything, to be fully independent from them, they themselves could not operate because we work for them. We are the batteries in America. And without them batteries, of course, anything without batteries don't work. It's dead.
Right.
What was the other question, Kazan?
The brother asked, if I can, sir, one more breakdown about speaking in tongues. You need an interpreter.
Speaking in tongues. Are you talking about the New Testament?
He just said just that right there, sir. He just said one more breakdown about speaking in tongues.
Okay, so if you talking about when the Christians do the hashabala blah blah like they just saying stuff.
Right.
That's not they call that speaking in tongues. That is babble. That is all that is it. So that's not what speaking in tongues. But in the New Testament, when they talk about speaking tongues, those were brothers who knew. I mean, he was speaking, but they also could speak languages that and communicate with other people that were, other Israelites who were from different places. Because you had Israelites who were from Asia and Greece and different places who spoke different languages. But when they spoke, everybody understood what they were saying.
Right.
So the speaking in tongues is the gift of, the teaching the different languages
Right.
that everybody can understand.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So like I said, if I may, right now downstairs, Captain Ashaparium is teaching I.S.U.P.K. Puerto Rico in Spanish.
Right. Yeah, we got a brother in another room right now. He's teaching Puerto Rico, and he's teaching our Puerto Rican brothers, and he's speaking Spanish in another tongue.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? You got brothers that speak Creole. You got brothers that speak Portuguese.
Right.
You got brothers that speak other languages also. You got brothers that speak French.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's other brothers that speak different languages to speak, and we all saying the same thing. We all say the same thing, that our oppressor is the devil, and then we have to come back to the Most High if we want any peace.
Right.
Or if we want to get out of this hellhole.
Right. So like, I got the precept I think you might be talking about, sir.
That with the pork?
No, like I said with the interpreter, sir.
Okay.
It's 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 27.
Mm-hmm.
If any man speak in an unknown tongue, let it be by two, or at the most by three, and that by course, and let one interpret. But if there be no interpreter, let him keep silence in the church, and let him speak to himself and to God.
Okay. So it seems like it looks like they are at the school and they're learning, but there's no interpreter there to interpret. So say if you have someone coming to the school right now, all blacks and Latino American Indians are allowed, but if an American Indian come in here speaking their tribal language, our Roger in North America, he's a Native Indian brother, but if he can't break that down, we sure.
Right.
That brother will have to wait until we find an interpreter. So he has to say his prayers to himself.
Right.
You have the one with the pork? Yeah. With the sisters? I mean, with the sister and her son?
Yeah, oh, well, can you get 2 Maccabees 7 and 1 up for sure?
Okay.
I just want to show you what our oppressors have been doing to us forever.
Right.
Like we have been strong people, but they've been beating us down every 1,000 years, man. Every 100 years they get us weaker and weaker. And there was a time when we knew, in the times of Rome and Greece, in Greece, they had to force us to eat pork because we wouldn't do it.
Right.
And they purposely did it to have us sin against our God. You got it?
Okay. 2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
And it came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken.
Right. This is seven brothers and these are her 7 sons and the one woman. Go ahead.
Okay. And compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh.
Right. And the king was trying to tell them to taste swine's flesh and eat pork. Because Israelites would not eat pork at that time. We knew it was a sin against God. And the Lord said that we knew that as a dietary law, right, to not eat pork. Go ahead.
Come. And tormented, and were tormented with scourges and whips.
Right. They tormented us with whips and they burnt us because we wouldn't eat it. They're like, eat the pork and whip you. Eat the pork, no, and get burnt. Go ahead.
But one of them that spake first said thus, what wouldest thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die.
Right.
Rather than to transgress the laws of our fathers.
See? He said we ready to die. Like, you're not gonna whip us and you're not gonna torture. Like, first they're being tormented. That's what tormented is. Tormented, just like the interrogation room where you just tormented somebody. You got them tied up, right, and you keep stabbing their leg, or you keep cutting them, but you're not killing them.
Right.
but it's causing pain. So they was causing them brothers pain and the woman pain, trying to get them to finally say, okay, I'll eat it. I'll eat the pork. This is all just to eat pork. Because they know the Romans knew, or the Greeks knew, that is a sin against God. But we would not do it.
Right.
To the point where they had to torment us to try to do it. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 3. Then the king, being in a rage, commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot.
Right. So now the king is commanding these big cauldrons, these big pans to be made hot. Hot boiling water. A big cauldron where your body could fit in. Go ahead.
Which forthwith being heated, he commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spake first.
Right. So now the first one said, look, we're not going to sin against the Most High God. He said, cut his tongue out. Go ahead.
And to cut off the utmost parts of his body, the rest of his brethren and his mother looking on.
So he got cut off his tongue and the utmost parts of his body. I mean, it's his upper body. They start cutting his body, like just killing him, dissecting him. Go ahead, his upper body. Go ahead.
Okay. Now when he was thus maimed in all his members, he commanded him, being yet alive, to be brought to the fire and to be fried in the pan.
See that? Now you dissected. Now you cut his ears off, cut his arm off, cut his penis off, and everything. Now you're gonna throw him in a pan.
Right.
Go ahead.
And as the vapor of the pan was for a good space dispersed, they exhorted one another with the mother to die manfully, saying thus.
Right. Now because some people would say 7 boys and their mother, they see one brother get killed, that will break somebody. That will break. That's many parents during slavery time and now and back then. They're like, okay, you know what? Okay, I'll do it. The mother will say, you know what? I'll do it for the sake of my sons.
Right.
Or the son might do it for the sake of his brothers and his mother. But they stood staunch on the Most High. They said, now after they seen one of their brothers get killed, they still turned to their mother and said, what? And did what? Read.
Okay. The Lord God looketh upon us.
The Lord is watching us right now, Mom. Go ahead.
And in truth have comfort in us.
Right. Go ahead.
As Moses in his song, which witnessed to their faces, declared, saying, and he shall be comforted in his servants. So when the first was dead after this number, they brought the second to make him a mocking stock.
Right. Go ahead.
And when they had pulled off the skin of his head with his hair,
right, they scalped his brother. They took a knife on his forehead, and they pulled it back. They scalped his brother.
Right.
Go ahead.
They asked him, wilt thou eat before thou be punished throughout every member of the body?
Now that we scalped you, you're going to eat this pork, but we're going to cut off your penis, we're going to cut off your fingers, we're going to cut off members of your body. Go ahead.
But he answered in his own language and said, no.
Right, in Hebrew, he said no. He said la'ah. Go ahead.
Wherefore he also received the next torment in order.
The next torture, go ahead.
As the former did.
As the same, now you got to get his penis cut off and his members cut off. Go ahead. And thrown in the pan or whatever. Go ahead.
And when he was at the last gasp, he said,
right, at his last breath, go ahead.
Come. Thou like a fury takest us out of this present life. But the King of the world shall raise us up, who have died for his laws unto everlasting life.
Right. Because give me how they gonna rise up in a regeneration in the New Testament. Rise of Christ. It said the key word should be regeneration. Go ahead, go ahead, Arwani.
Okay. Verse 10. After him was the third made a mocking stock. And when he was required, he put out his tongue, and that right soon, holding forth his hands manfully.
Right. So now this one, now the first one, the second one is killed. Now the third one, he stuck his hand in his tongue out like this. Like, go ahead, do what you're gonna do. Cut my tongue off, cut my hand off, because I'm not gonna eat this pork. Go ahead.
And said courageously, These I had from heaven, and for his laws I despised them. And from him I hope to receive them again,
Right. He said, "These I got from the Lord. You can take it from me, and I hope the Lord will give them back to me."
Right.
Go ahead.
In so much that the king and they that were with him marveled at the young man's courage.
Right. He had so much courage, it changed him. Just like earlier, brother, when you saw how the sister, how you came to the sister was in so much rage. You came to her and said, "Sis, why you talking? You know, why you acting like that?" She had humbled herself.
Right.
The same thing with these heathens. They see this brother They see his brother's countenance change. This brother stood up strong. This young man stood up strong, and they backed up like, man. He just seen his brothers get killed. And he's still not gonna budge. Go ahead.
Come. Now, when this, in so much that the king and they that were with him marveled at the young man's courage, for that he nothing regarded the pains.
They said, "Oh man, he don't even care about the pain." Oh man. Go ahead.
Now, when this man was dead also, they tormented and mangled the fourth in like manner.
Right. They're doing the same thing, cutting off their members. Go ahead.
Come. So when he was ready to die, he said thus, "It is good being put to death by men,
Right.
to look for hope from God to be raised up again by him. As for thee, thou shalt have no resurrection to life."
Right. He said, "Look, I died in the name of the Most High God. I'm going to come back in the kingdom of heaven. I'll be back again. Reincarnation is real.
Right.
You don't, you know what I'm saying? You don't die, go to heaven or hell. When you die, your spirit go up to the Most High and come back down. We knew reincarnation was real. Go ahead.
Afterward, they brought the fifth also and mangled him. Then looked he unto the king and said, "Thou hast power over men. Thou art corruptible. Thou doest what thou wilt."
Right. You got power over men. You corruptible, man. You got power over men, so you have the power to corrupt men, to try to torture men and get them to change their mind. That's what happened with black people over time. Over time, now look at us now. We are corrupted. Our black leaders are corrupted, and that's why they teach us corruptible things and wickedness.
Right.
Go ahead.
Come. Yet think not that our nation is forsaken of God, but abide a while and behold his great power, how he will torment thee and thy seed.
Right. The Lord, like you can kill me now, but the Lord's gonna destroy your whole seed and your whole race.
That's right.
The Lord's gonna destroy you.
Right.
Go ahead.
Come.
Just like in Job says, in Job, it says the wicked is going to be put out, the sons and the nephew, that you will have no name on the earth.
Right.
Like soon there will be no Caucasian.
Yeah.
And after the Most High, after they serve their time.
Right.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Verse 18. After him also they brought the sixth, who being ready to die said, "Be not deceived without cause, for we suffer these things for ourselves, having sinned against our God. Therefore marvelous things are done unto us.
Right.
But think not thou that takest in hand to strive against God, that thou shalt escape unpunished."
Right. Don't think you're not going to be punished for this. And that's what we teach. And that's why the white man hates us today.
Right.
Because we teach, just like the Lord is going to bathe the streets of America in your blood.
That's
Right.
Your blood is going to be bathed in the streets of America, man.
That's right.
For your sins against the Most High, from your sins against the Most High and his children,
Right.
Black Latinos and American Indians.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Come. Verse 20. But the mother was marvelous above all, and worthy of honorable memory, for when she saw her 7 sons slain.
And that's how this woman got this story. That's what this story was taken down or recorded in the Bible. This history was recorded in the Bible because she watched her sons get killed. Whereas though she usually, what would happen is she would be the first one to protect her sons, protect their babies, and say, "You know what? Just give me the pork. I'll eat it."
Right.
To save her 7 sons, but she watched her sons. Imagine how painful they gotta be for a parent to watch their child to die. and not to stand staunch on the Most High instead of agreeing with the enemy just to save her son's life.
Right.
Go ahead.
Come. For when she saw her 7 sons slain within the space of one day, she bare it with a good courage because of the hope that she had in the Lord.
Right. She had hope in the Most High God. Go ahead.
Yea, she exhorted every one of them in her own language, filled with courageous spirits, and stirring up with her womanish thoughts, with a manly stomach. She said unto them, I cannot tell how ye came into my womb, for I neither gave you breath nor life, neither was it that formed the members of every one of you.
Right. Like you might you came out of my womb, but you don't belong to me. You belong to the Most High God. That's what she's saying. Like y'all stood staunch for the Most High God. Go ahead. There's so much courage she had to build up.
Right.
That's why it says with a manly stomach. Go ahead.
Verse 23. But doubtless the creator of the world, who formed the generation of man and found out the beginning of all things, will also of his own mercy give you breath and life again.
Right. The Most High God, he's gonna give you breath and life again. You came out of my womb, but you belong to the Most High God.
That's right.
And he's gonna give you breath and life again. Go ahead.
So like, sir, if I may. Verse 23 is proving reincarnation right there.
All right. Read, go ahead. What you talking
about? What it say? Of his own mercy give you breath and life again.
Right. Because when you die, your body's in the dust, your spirit go up to the Most High.
Right.
And your spirit will come back down.
Right.
Go ahead.
Come. As ye now regard not your own selves for his law's sake. Now Antioch.
You don't regard yourself for his law's sake. You're not trying to save your life.
Right.
You don't care about your life by losing your life for the sake of the Most High God.
Right.
If we have men like that, black people will be saved.
Yeah.
It will be no confusion on who to vote for.
Right.
It won't be, no longer will racist cops be able to kill us, or anybody be able to kill us and not get answered for,
right,
and not get punished.
Right.
If we have men like that, those men being built right here in UPK.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying, brother? You being built like that, because I've been built like that.
Right.
Lord, allow this brother be built like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I see, our sisters are built like that. That's a woman who had watched her 7 sons be killed.
Yeah.
But she said, look, you came out of my womb, but the Lord was the one that gave you the breath and the life.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Come. Verse 24. Now Antioch, thinking himself despised and suspecting it to be a reproachful speech, whilst the youngest was yet alive, did not only exhort him by words, but also assured him with oaths that he would make him both a rich and a happy man if he would turn from the laws of his fathers.
Right. So now there's one son left. And the king is like, you know what? I'll make you a rich man. I'll make you rich. I'll make you rich. Just come and just go tell your people. I'll make you rich. Just go tell your people to calm down. Tell your people to go to church on Sundays. Tell your people to celebrate Christmas. Tell your people to go eat pork. And I'm going to pay you. You know what I'm saying? Go tell them that it's okay to get an abortion. I'm going to pay you. I'm going to pay you. Go tell them it's fine. Go tell them to forgive their enemy, and they gotta love their enemy too. Go tell them they gotta turn the other cheek,
right?
Which they don't know what that really means. And I'll pay you some money. You'll be rich. This brother ain't take the money, but Jesse Jackson did.
Right.
Go ahead.
Come. And that also he would take him for his friend and trust him with affairs. Verse 25. But when the young man would in no case.
See, the king said, I'll take you as my friend and trust him with affairs, meaning you'll be my little politician.
Right.
Or like you'll be my little lawmaker. Or, when matters happen, you know what I'm saying, you have a say so and how to deal with things in the city or with the people.
Right.
Just like that's a position of Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. Go ahead.
Okay.
dealing with affairs and black people's affairs. Go ahead.
In no case hearken unto him. The king called his mother and exhorted her that she would counsel the young man to save his life.
She like, the king that killed 6 of her sons, the last one, she's saying, he like, look, young man, I make you rich. You know what I'm saying? You'll be my friend, and you will talk, and any affairs that happen, I'll make you a part of them. You'll be a little politician. He said no. And then he pulled the mother to the side, like, look, talk to your son. Tell your son to eat the pork. Just say, look, all of this is for pork.
Right.
This is how evil they are.
Right.
They've been tormented because they don't want to break the Most High's laws. The white, you know what I'm saying, the Caucasian, the oppressor, they know what they're doing, man.
Right.
That's why they don't want to let us. They don't want to fully give you freedom, because if you do, you come back to the Most High God. They know that is the end of their that is the end of their captivity, of our captivity, and the end of their kingdom.
Right.
And they don't want, of course, don't want it to happen.
Right.
Go ahead.
Come on. Verse 27. But she, bowing herself toward him, laughing the cruel tyrant to scorn, spake.
She laughed the cruel tyrant to scorn. She laughed him out. Go ahead.
Spake in her country language on this manner. O my son, have pity upon me that bare thee 9 months in my womb, and gave thee such 3 years, and nourished thee, and brought thee up unto this age, and endured the troubles of education. I beseech thee, my son, look upon the heaven and the earth, and all that is therein, and consider that God made them of things that were not, and so was mankind made likewise.
Right. She said, she said, I raised you about a womb for 9 months. I nourished you for, you breastfed for 3 years.
Right.
You went through the troubles of learning the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s and math and everything, just to go through this. But look up to the Most High and under the Creator's watching. Go ahead.
Come. Fear not this tormentor, but being worthy of thy brethren, take thy death, that I may receive thee again in mercy with thy brethren.
Right. That is heavy, man.
Right.
She had to be noticed. That's why she had to get this.
And thou that hast been the author of all shall not escape the hands of God.
Right. The Lord's going to get you for this. You're going to be punished.
Right.
Go ahead.
For we suffer because of our sins. And though the living Lord be angry with us a little while for our chastening and correction, yet shall he be at one again with his servants.
Right. The Most High right now punished. He punishes with slavery. We're being punished right now. But when we'll be one with the Most High again, because we're going to turn towards him.
That's right.
And that's what we're doing right now in the school. We teach brothers to turn to the Most High. Right now, we're going through punishment. Hell yeah. We're living in the poor. As a majority of our poor, we're oppressed.
Right.
But this is going to be for a little. This time is up.
Yeah.
The time is up.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Come. Verse 34. But thou, O godless man, and of all other most wicked, be not lifted up without a cause, nor puffed up with uncertain hopes, lifting up thy hand against the servants of God. For thou hast not yet escaped the judgment of Almighty God, who seeth all things.
Right. Most of us see this. Most of us seen you killed seven sons. Go ahead.
For our brethren, who now have suffered a short pain, are dead under God's covenant of everlasting life.
Right.
But thou, through the judgment of God, shall receive just punishment for thy pride. But I, as my brethren, offer up my body and life for the laws of our fathers, beseeching God that he would speedily be merciful unto our nation, and that thou, by torments and plagues, mayest confess that he alone is God.
Right. He'll give up his body and his life for the Most High God. That we need leadership like that. We get leadership like that, black people will be on top again. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a total everything that we know, every way that we move and different things, like the way that we treat each other, different how do I want to say, different reactions that we give, or the ways that we react to one another and react to certain situations, all that will change.
Right.
All that will change, man. Because we're gonna be under the full order, of the Most High God. We're going over time, so we're gonna pick back up later on. But that's a powerful, most definitely one of the most powerful stories I read, man. Or times in history I read. For a mother to sit there and all this was for our enemy to get us to sin against the Most High God. It's ridiculous. Biden, you know what I'm saying, that, and they did that. That was the beginning of us now taking these traditions, and now we're here with voting and kill us to vote. We beg to vote. We're begging to, homosexual. Some of us are begging for homosexual rights. It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? That is the state that we're in. But Most High Christ brought our way. I was shot to the I.S.U.P.K.
That's right.
To the brothers and sisters that things is changing, man. And we're gonna spread this truth. And whoever gonna hop on board, you're gonna hop on board and stick and do it to the end. You're gonna be rewarded.
Right.
If not, you know what I'm saying. Unfortunately, you'll be swept up in the Lord's wrath with the enemy. With that, we're gonna pass the trooper Awadi.
Security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get married. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18:21 and Malachi 3:8-10. My Ishura, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher, priest, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocation.
You know when the date is, maybe?
That's April 24th.
Right. Upcoming holy convocation is going to be Passover. Get ready for Passover. It's going to be April 24th. It's going to be in Houston, Texas. It's going to be our first time. The Lord usually we have it in New York. The Lord shut down this plague in New York with COVID. Move it down south for this year. It's going to be in Houston, Texas. Hit up ISUPK.com. Get the list of the schools that's in the city that's near you. And all the brothers will give you all the information that you need to travel down and come and celebrate your true heritage, man. Instead of celebrating Christmas and Easter, celebrate Passover. Something about your enemies, a memorial, a remembrance about when the Lord destroyed your enemies. That's what we need to remember instead of some filth, man.
Right.
That's what we need to remember instead of Easter. All those things are worship of a false god. But on the other side, Passover, Feast of Dedication, Feast of Tabernacles, those are high holy days and memorials and a remembrance of a time that your people went through. All right?
Purim, 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month. Monday, February 14th. Tuesday, February 15th.
Right, so February 14th, Purim is coming up. That's another one of our holy convocations. Go to get the number of your city and come celebrate the Lord. So come celebrate the Lord's our holy days and celebrate your heritage. Lord.
You can find this in the book of Esther, chapter 9, verse 20 and 21.
Purim is a beautiful story, man. It's in the book of Esther. It's about when a beautiful sister convinced a heathen king who had us in captivity, and she persuaded him to kill one of the king's friends, and somebody who he gave position to, who had authority over Israelites, and that heathen was going to kill all the Israelites because of one Israelite would not bow to him, Mordecai. Mordecai would not bow to him, so he was angry with all the Israelites, wanted to kill all the Israelites. But Mordecai had a niece, had Esther, and Esther convinced the king to not let that heathen kill all the Israelites, and that heathen who was going to kill us, he got killed instead. He got hung instead. Go ahead. It's a beautiful story. Go ahead.
Remind Archium and Akwathim to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, you should start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black pants, black hairband, or scarf. And with that, say Elijah, which means to stand. Give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Oh, Sar, which means face the east. Do the Lord's Prayer, sir?
Yeah.
Do the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Qudash. Ayah. Shabka. Yahweh. Malak with Ka. Taba'ah. Ratazaka. Ayah. Aisha. Ba'aratazah. Kawak. Ayah. Bashemayim. Nathan. Nathanalau. Lakam. Cow. Yawam. Wasalakinaw. Kabawakinaw. Kasalakinaw. Kabawakinaw. Wala'ah. Tabaya'ayinaw. Manasaya 1. Abal. Hawashayinaw. Mayan. Ra. Kaya. Laka. Hamalakwa. Waha'ala. Wahatapara. La awalamyam. Aman.
In English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy
Thy will be done.
In earth.
As
in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day. Our daily bread. Forgive us of our debts.
And forgive us of our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not
into
temptation.
But deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it. Saw, which means turn and face.
Saw, which means to turn.
Which means to turn.
Since you have a seat.
Since you have a seat. Men of Israel. Amidra Shabbat. Amidra. Barak. YAHANNA Hashem Yahweh Barakathah. Saw, which means turn and face the east. Sister, you can stand. Give one courtesy salute to the sister. Men of Israel. Amidra Shabbat. Amidra. Barak. Yahweh Shema Alatham B'Hashem Yahweh. Yaznatah, class dismissed.